This is it.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
Africa. Thanks for getting rid of Eugene for us.
Yeah.
So this is the demo.
I said farmers are gone. There's going to be a lot of dead people in South Africa. Just like in Zimbabwe. It's going to be.
Yeah, but well, we've done pretty well in this country, so why can't we say that about South Africa?
You know that.
Huh?
We still got white farmers. It's like 0.0%.
We still have, yeah, but it hasn't uprooted after we got rid of Jim Crow in this country. I mean, I know you disagree with that.
Well, then you already knew the answer to your question, didn't you?
Yeah, but I wanted to hear it from you. And you got gray as hell.
Huh?
Look at what you've done.
I'm an old man.
Yeah, but you wasn't this gray when we saw you 4 years ago.
Well, between the age of 44 and 48, you age.
There's no excuse. I'm 41.
I don't accept that. I don't accept that.
Oh, that's because Clairol helps you out.
Absolutely.
Clairol.
That's Ms. Claire.
So who are you from?
Hey, I was on SF. Yeah.
Where did it?
I'm from around here. I'm in the burbs, DC burbs. Took me like
Well, I didn't know what to do, fellas, because they said yes and they said no.
They started fighting with Mojo.
Yeah, they started fighting with Mojo. But you know,
Where's
you got
Mojo?
a lot of guts for coming.
Yeah. Are you from Florida?
He drove all the way from Florida.
Close enough, though.
He's from Richmond.
Give each other a hug.
Well, I've been there for a while, but I didn't know.
Give each other a big
I
kiss.
recognize you.
Of course, you see me all the damn
That's right. You're
time.
the only black guy, except for you.
Yeah.
Only black guy in the anti-racist movement.
No, there's more. I'm the one that gets in your face, technically speaking, more.
you say those type of things?
But I mean, is it true or not true?
It's not true.
It's not that
Why
many.
shouldn't you say
I've
that?
been to a lot of demonstrations.
I understand that,
All right,
but why
well, I
don't you
mean,
say?
hey, this is a problem for y'all to figure out, not for me to figure out.
It's not a problem because it's not true.
But I just don't see them when we do these things.
Because sometimes white people need to deal with their own, and that's exactly what you see.
White people do need to be with their own. You're right.
Deal with their own.
Well,
And that should be saying something about your movement. That day at the Canadian consulate, I seem to have more white people on my side than you had on yours.
well, that's what I'm saying, Daryl. It's just basically your struggle is a white struggle. It's so guilt-ridden white people.
Or maybe it is white people that have, to use your words,
How many did you
waking
have
up.
that day? 30, and we had a
60.
dozen. Okay, all right, 60, and we had a dozen or 15 or whatever it was. There's no representation of the country, black or white, anyway. You know that.
None of what we do when you're dealing with
But
issues
look
of
at
racial
white
matters.
people in general, they won't admit it. Listen,
Do not get hit by the car.
they won't admit it, but you know, when it comes down to where they live, where they send their kids to school, the majority of the white people think that. You've got to know that deep down.
No. You know why? Because contrary to what people keep trying to say, it's not a matter of race. It's a matter of class. It's a matter of money. The haves and have-nots. They want to be in an area which is basically kept up via the money that comes in. You're going to find white people living in poor black neighborhoods, and they're not really poor black neighborhoods, but they're just poor neighborhoods. Go to North Philly, for example. There's a lot of poor whites hanging out with a lot of poor blacks.
Yeah, but working class whites are usually the most racist.
On the other hand,
Is that true or not?
say that again?
Working class whites are usually the most racially conscious. That's
No.
been my experience. I've been doing this since I was 14 or 48.
Poor white.
There's some trends over there.
I notice the trends too.
Yeah.
The lower
How
your
old are you?
economic, I'm 41.
You're 41?
Yes, I'm
See,
right behind
no
you,
wonder
man.
Criticizing me for my gray hair because you.
Because I don't have. Well, I shaved it. I shaved it.
I bet it would grow gray.
I got some stubble. You can see it in the stubble. But think about it like this. It's when you start going down further down the economic class as you go, the more you start seeing quote-unquote racially conscious nationalistic people.
Look,
Why?
I'll tell you what happened in the 60s. White poor were protected just as the white rich. Today, white poor have nowhere to go. They are stuck in the neighborhoods you talk about. They
So
don't
they're all
have the
together
freedom of
trying to
choice
fight
that money
against-
gives you in this country.
But all of us are trying
All
to.
the people that live in those neighborhoods. Why don't nobody has a choice.
Because every time we've rebuilt those neighborhoods, and I can show you if you come down to Richmond.
I've been in
I can
Richmond.
brand new everything. 10 years down the road.
Yeah, but
destroyed.
Richmond doesn't
Right
invest
back.
On the other hand,
Their environment changed, but their habits didn't change.
But,
but
wrong
Richmond
answer. Now
doesn't
here's my upbringing. Here's my upbringing.
I lived
I
in
grew up. I didn't grow up in the ghetto.
Growing up, We chopped wood for the local black family down the street. We did so many things. You don't understand how the situation.
Did the local black family
we
rob
did
you?
things. We were separate, but we sort of had a community sense of what we did. We had rules, societal rules that worked pretty good. When those left, the black community was destroyed. They could not compete
That's
with
not true.
integration. 2nd Street in Richmond was the Harlem of the South. Black businesses everywhere. You might see a barber shop down there now.
Okay,
but it destroyed them. Integration destroyed their communities.
But
drugs in there, crimes there.
But
I mean, congratulations.
they're building up now.
But what did you
But
win?
they're building up now. I never grew up like that. I never grew up like that. African Americans also left. Okay, my personal experience is when things started going to hell in Newark, New Jersey, my father moved down to Somerset, New Jersey, to a predominantly black suburb. And it was just fine. Everybody had their own homes. We had black professional people doing their thing, and they didn't forget where they were coming from. They were still with their people in Newark and Irvington and Jersey. That is, Newark is doing better. Well, I have to just tell you where I'm coming from.
I know you're telling me you're.
So if you're saying that black neighborhoods go to hell when white people leave, I can tell you from my own personal experience that that's not the case.
Not just that, Daryl. It's not just that. Black communities can thrive okay within their framework. The problem with it is that integration destroyed that framework.
No, it did not. No, it did not.
Well,
no, it did not. No, it did not. I can tell you
some of the
that.
blacks on city council, I've gone to some of the race relations meetings in Richmond where we had a dialogue with these people, and all of them off camera will say the same thing. They all say
It's
yes,
about
integration destroyed. They said there should have been some sort of workable solution. And I said,
was not about race. It was about money.
It's all about race.
No, it's not. It's only about race as a secondary thing.
Money is an issue, but it's not the only.
All right, Fred Hampton, Black Panthers. He said racism is a byproduct of capitalism. Now, I'm no anti-capitalist, but by the same token, I'm not going to sit here and say that
countries that were communist for 70 years, and the minute the government fell, they went right back to the same feelings they had before.
Soviet Union, Russia is not.
Well, any type, not just race. I'm talking about ethnicities in Yugoslavia, anywhere else. Those same nationalities which were suppressed by government dictation, even to the point of a bayonet, just resurface. These things don't go away.
Look at what's going on in Russia. Look at what's going on in those former Eastern Bloc countries. They're still trying to build themselves up, but it's only been 20 years.
But they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Exactly. We will be fine. We are fine.
Well, we're
and South Africa will be fine.
Down a road that will change us forever. We have a choice to make, but people aren't allowed to say what that choice is.
Yeah, they're allowed. They're just going to get a response. That's all.
Of racism, and then they have to sort of fake it with some fake language about, well, I'm really not that, but I'm this. It's because of taxation. It's because of this. So I mean, until people start to stand up for whites as the white race, it's just not going to change for us. But you don't have anything to fear. I mean, well,
I know you're right. I don't, but that's another story.
Well, we got 3. We're up to 3 now, Daryl. I don't know what happened.
There are times when you can have 50 to our 12, and it ain't no big deal.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather have it like this because we can talk.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know that these fellows were with it. I came by a few times and I'm like, well, I don't see any signs, I don't see any demonstration, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to come all the way up here and not say hey.
I mean, you came all the way from Richmond.
Yeah, it's a couple hours down the road, plus the convenience of getting lost in this hellish city.
This city's nice. I mean,
it's got parts, but I mean, honestly, a road that just ends and then turns into something totally different.
Okay, you got your point there.